going live on YouTube. So I just want to say good afternoon, evening, or morning, depending on where you're at and when you're going to be watching this. I am so happy to be back on Venus Friday. So it's one of my favorite days, a day that we all just want to relax and let go of the work week and get ready for our weekend. So happy Friday, everybody. It's great to be back. And my son Nathan is on. Hi, Nathan. So today I wanted to share our about our emotions and the moon, and I'll be sharing my screen. Hopefully, it'll work for me on Zoom. But I think that a lot of people don't realize the cycle of our moon and not only what nakshatra that it's in, whether, some days are just a little bit more frustrating than other days. But the cycle of the moon has a huge impact on our hormones, the way that we feel, our state of mind, and our emotions. And believe it or not, the men have the opposite effect as women during the moon cycle. So let me see if I can get my screen share up here going correctly. I don't know. Well, we're going to give it a good go though. And I'm going to drag, sorry about this. I need to drag my screen over here. Okay. So, share screen and see if I can find my photo. Here it is. So hopefully everybody can see this on the screen. I'll make it nice and big. So we're going to kind of start here with the dark moon. And we just had a dark moon a couple weeks ago. And if the women would notice, and of course the men, but we'll start with the women on this one. A lot of times our menstrual cycle will start around the new moon, but definitely approaching the new moon, you will find us being more irritable. And the men have quite the opposite effect on the new moon. They actually have this deep need to take action on their desires. And there's a reason for this. The testosterone level in men and women are higher during the new moon phase, or the darker the moon, the more testosterone that you do have. And really what that means is that we, for women, when our testosterone is a little bit too high, we will get very grouchy, irritable, because women don't feel comfortable when they're having to take action and be penetrating. They like to receive, and that dark moon testosterone's not a receiving type of energy. It's more of a action penetrating type of energy, and that's why men feel way better. They're calm, they're not angry, they feel good because they're out playing basketball. They have more energy. They're really determined, to reach their goals, whether it's in business or fixing something around the house, playing sports with the kids, whatever it may be. Women don't feel so well. There's a lack of energy because estrogen gives women energy. And so we get tired, we get nauseous, we're just all in the general mood, very irritable, and want to be kind of left alone. So it's not an easy period for us, no pun intended. So now as the moon is coming out of that dark phase, well, let me back up just one second here. Also on the new moon and the dark moon, that one of the greatest things though is that we can really set our intentions on something new. It gives us a new opportunity to set goals for that month. And depending on the house and the nakshatra that it's in, depends on what you want to set for that new month. You know, if it's in the nakshatra of Maga versus the nakshatra of Anuradha, you'll want to set particular goals for that type of energy. And Anuradha is more of a scorpionic type of energy. Maga is more of a Leo type of energy. And then, of course, depending on the house, you know, is the full new moon falling in your fifth house, your 10th house, your eighth house? That's also going to affect exactly what your focus is going to be on for that month. So it's all about fulfillment, you guys. Really, for men and women, men like to go after desires. Women love to feel their desires to be fulfilled. All right. Receiving and giving, receiving and giving. We like to get the chocolate cake. The men like to bake it. Not that women don't like to bake either, but you understand what I'm saying, though, that feminine energy is about receiving. It's much more gentle. We like to be that fulfilled. Men's testosterone, men's energy is giving. They want to go out and make money. They want to be that provider. And this is just how we're made up. This is just it's science. It's our how our bodies are created. It's how we survive, and we've been surviving since the beginning of time. So then, as the new moon is coming out of being dark and starting to fulfill itself, then you'll notice that women start feeling better as it's going the fulfillment of it. Women will calm down. There'll be that little part of angry as our estrogen is rising. We have to socialize more, go out with the girls, you know, do something to fulfill ourselves as our estrogen is coming up. And then men's testosterone, of course, starts waning, and so does the women. Starts decreasing, and the estrogen moves up. And then when the estrogen, though, moves up in the men, they get angry. And you know, the full moon, right? This is, and I was just thinking about this the other day too. The full moon, how many stories are around the full moon? The werewolf coming out angry, killing everybody on the full moon, right? That definitely wasn't by accident. And it's usually always, not all the time, but usually, it was the men who turned into the werewolves and out killing and their anger, and they're coming out this monster and beast. And everybody kind of wants to relate anger with testosterone, but that's not entirely correct. It's when men's estrogen levels are too high and their testosterone is too low, is when they get all beastie like, werewolf like, and they get mad and violent and angry, right? They become also lazy and tired. So um so the new moon, though, the full moon for women, on the other hand, has quite the opposite effect. We are in love. We feel so fulfilled and we feel so good. And we're just in that receiving mode. Just give us, and receiving that beautiful energy, receiving gifts. And we feel so good. And also, women ovulate usually around the new moon. The full moon, And then the cycles will start again. So now we're starting the process of waxing, where the moon starts emptying itself and becoming dark again. And when the cycle happens, then you can start seeing women moods change a little bit. The darker it gets, the more irritable she gets. But on the opposite hand, the men become calmer, and they become more energized to go and fulfill that desire that's coming, right? Because when we're fulfilled, we really don't have a lot of desire. It's when we're not fulfilled and it's that moon's a little bit dark is when we have a lot of desire to reach something. So the testosterone level is a lot higher and we want to be more action oriented. And I'll tell you kind of what this looks like. For men having a dark moon in their natal chart, this can depending on how stable the moon is, it can give them an obsessive type of behavior, where they're really going to go after what they want, and they're not going to care who they run over to get it, right? But I think, men, generally on a new moon, they're a little bit happier in life, but they're the men who are always out and getting something, going for something, right? Women with a new moon or a darker moon in their natal chart, and I do have a dark moon in my chart, you guys. I am one day away from a dark moon, so I can really speak with experience on this. It doesn't feel very good. And I really, really have to work on my mental state and my emotional state and keeping it stable. And it doesn't mean that I'm not intelligent and I can't make really good decisions, but it's a lot more work. Life has given me obstacles that I have to really take more on a male energy and a male role and be really pursuing hard my goals and to make my way in life, right? Which is a very male thing. This is what men love to do. They love that testosterone being high. It gives them that desire. So anyway, so this is kind of the difference with how it kind of looks in a man's and a woman's chart. And it's the same. Now, having a full moon is just a really, really good place, I think, for anybody in their chart. But I have to say that when I see men with full moons in their chart, um, they have a drive, but they're more calm about it. They're not going to be out there pursuing it with all of their gusto, right? They're a little bit more stable and calm. They're like, you know what? I'm going to spend time with the family. I'm going to do this, and then I'll go after this chore or I'll go after this desire, right? Versus a man with a new moon who is that workaholic, if you will. But a man can better handle being a workaholic than a woman. It's more comfortable for a man than it is for a woman because a woman likes to receive. And in that new moon phase, or the darker moon phase, women are not receiving. And that's why we are all a little bit more irritable, not having such a good time during that new moon phase, versus the full moon phase. Women who have full moon in their charts, you guys, they feel really good. They're always fulfilled. They are the ones who just seems like they can really manifest their dreams. It's very, very fulfilling. I do have to say, from the new moon to the full moon, that cycle, which we call waning, waxing. I apologize for that. I think I got that right. The new moon, yeah, it's waxing. Okay, to the full moon, that is a time of fulfillment because the new moon is being fulfilled. It's going toward the full moon, right? And then people with their natal moon on the other side of the full moon will end up having to seem to be giving up things in life to get a fulfillment met. If that makes sense. So let's say if they want a family, they're going to have to give up their career. And I'm not saying to that extent, depending on where your moon is at, okay, between that cycle of the full moon and the new moon. But really, generally, that's really how it works. And if you look at your chart and understand where your moon is at and what cycle is it playing, and really think about it. In what areas of your life do you have to give up something to gain something? Or do you not have to give up anything, but you have fulfillment, or you can only receive a little fulfillment, right? Depending on that cycle, is it a lot of fulfillment or just a little bit of fulfillment? So take a look at your chart and see where that full moon is at. And I totally forgot to stop doing my stop share. I apologize. I just wanted to give you guys a quick look at the new moon versus the full moon. Um, I apologize. That didn't make it for a very good live. Hopefully you guys could have seen my little picture up there. But again, just kind of reiterating, though, our moon right now is currently being fulfilled. So we're going to see women in general a little bit happier, right? They're going to be a little bit more fulfilled. Their estrogen level is rising. But also now, men, notice your mood and see if it's not kind of coming down on the testosterone, and you're getting maybe starting to get a little bit irritable. Not that you're not fulfilled, but that's the problem, is that you're feeling fulfilled and you don't want that. It makes you have a lack of energy. It's like, okay, what am I going to go for? What am I going to do? Right? So you're always going to have a lot more energy and a lot more drive when the moon is going towards the darkness, going towards the new moon. And then when it's in that little cycle of really being fulfilled, you're going to be like, okay, so now what? What am I going to do? I feel useless, kind of, right? And that's the general feeling. And maybe you turn into a werewolf. Who knows? But anyways, so I just wanted to really cover how the moon really does affect our energy every single day. Really pay attention. Pay attention to those moon cycles. Pay attention to what house it's in your chart. Pay attention to what fixed stars, because remember, whatever the moon's at, it's going to trigger those type of events that fixed star is all about, that section of the zodiac, right? Every degree, every section has a certain energy that it plays out. So that's why it's always so important to know beyond the zodiac and go into the fixed stars. You can get those finer details of how it works out. So again, there's going to be a full moon here in about a week. But with that being said, this is the time of fulfillment. When that full moon happens, the day afterwards is a really good time to start thinking about what is the next goal that you want fulfilled. So you have that ready as you're going, and as the moon is getting darker and going into that next new moon cycle. And that's really like, okay, this is what I'm going to work on. Set your attention, focus that energy. Don't go angry. Don't go lazy. Just really keep control, you guys, of your emotions. Keep control of your thoughts. Stay focused through these cycles. That's what it's trying to teach us, right? As we get older, we learn to really focus. Most of us learn how to really focus our intention and to be stable even when the moon's waxing and waning and playing with our body. We just understand how to work with it, right? So, like women, if you get irritable, do you just, especially during the new moon time, maybe that's a really good time to go visit girlfriends, go out to a movie, spend time with your children. Are you involved with, clubs or sports? Maybe going and talking to a coach, or, just a really good friend, maybe just need that one-on-one attention, right? So remember, there are things that we can do during these cycles that are going to really help us live a very fulfilled and stable life and keep all of our love tanks full. So, and the same with men. You got to do the same thing. When the moon is starting to become full, what are you doing with your time? Are you out playing sports? Are you out, visiting friends? Are you involved in any type of sports club? Maybe you need to talk with the coach. Well, actually, I wouldn't recommend that at that time. Men need to do, when they become fulfilled, they need to do a lot less talking and more penetrating and more listening. So men during that full moon, definitely, what do you need to work on? Go play basketball, go play baseball, do something with your time. And trust me, it will raise your testosterone level and you will feel so much better. Same thing with women. Women, you need to receive during the dark moon. Definitely receive any and all kinds of love, gifts, because that will help raise your estrogen level. And trust me, you will feel so much better. So that is all I got. And I'm going to check my comments really quick and see if I have any. And so my son's been busy on there. Oh my gosh, I tell you what, he's such a good supporter of me, and I adore my children. I love them. And Nathan, thank you so much. So, um, anyways, if you guys, when you do watch this video and you guys have any comments, go ahead and just place the comments below and I will get back to them and answer you guys to my best of ability, just so I can start a little bit of a dialogue with everybody out there and get a rapport kind of going on. I would love to be able to answer questions. Also, don't forget that I am going live tomorrow with KK on the weekly transits for the following week. And also that my new program, and I called it Ground Zero, is starting on Monday, August 31st. So if you haven't signed up for that, go to Facebook on my Breakthrough Astrology group and you get 99% off. So you're only paying 97 cents for it. And I really recommend that you guys get in there because, we're not talking about just breaking ground and changing your emotions, you guys. Every program that I put together and putting out there, the whole leveling up program is all about also emotional awareness and spiritual awareness. Is called being a master of yourself, self-mastery, if you will, but really taking control of your life, and where you don't need somebody predicting. You're going to take control of your life and create your own future. So each level of that program, that's what it's about. Anyways, guys, have a lovely Friday evening, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And don't forget to visit my website at levelingup909.com, and also check out my other videos. And I do have a Facebook page called Breakthrough Astrology. Namaste.